the latest in tech suit innovation. The Tier Vinzo utilizes frictionless fiber construction, surface lift technology, endo compression cage, seamless exo shell, Tier Vinzo, Battleborn.
Edinburgh put lots of opportunities in front of me, and all I had to do was take them.
There is just so much to do in this city. Always something new to discover.
I love exploring Edinburgh. I found the people here very friendly and so much fun.
The city is known for being a global innovator in so many fields. That's what made it very attractive.
Edinburgh University is highly ranked worldwide. It's got such a strong academic reputation, which is why I was so eager to come here.
Edinburgh was always where I wanted to go to university during high school years.
It's a city with so many opportunities. It's a city you can be yourself in, and it's a city that challenges you.
Volleyball was a huge part of my life before starting university. It's been great playing it here as team captain.
The city has given me global opportunities to build my career, and I'll always be grateful for that.
The environment here has changed me. I've discovered my own independence.
I've made a lot of friends in Edinburgh. Scottish people are so welcoming. They've made me feel part of the city.
Everything I wanted to do, Edinburgh made happen. That's what university should be about. You need to be in a city that can inspire you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it, Paul.
There are a lot of world-class universities, but how many of them are in world-class cities?
Go Edinburgh.
Go Edinburgh.
Go Edinburgh. Go Edinburgh.
Go Edinburgh.
Come on, Edinburgh!
Well, very warm welcome back to the Royal Commonwealth Pool here in Edinburgh. We are here for day 3 of the Edinburgh International Swim Meet 2019. We've had a great couple of days so far. Looking forward to an excellent final day of action here in the pool. I'm Paul Noble. I'm joined this morning by Robert Taylor. Welcome, Robert.
Good morning, Paul. Nice to be with you this morning. As you say, we've had an exciting couple of days, and this is the third of the 3 days. More action this morning and lots to look forward to.
Absolutely. Well, the Edinburgh International Swim Meet would not be able to be held without the help of our sponsors, and a big thank you to them right at the very outset. University of Edinburgh Sport, City of Edinburgh Council, Tier and Sports Abroad, the four main sponsors, and a huge thank you to them. It's great to see this event back on the calendar. I remember swimming it back in the late 80s, back in the old days, the black and white days, Robert.
Yeah.
It's great to see it back in the calendar. It's about 5 years ago, isn't it?
It is about 5 years ago. It was resurrected, and it's beginning to grow again. We've got a big contingent of swimmers from abroad, 30 countries taking part, I believe, Paul. So it's a big event over this weekend.
Yeah, and we have some of the big names, as you said. We saw the likes of Adam Peaty performing last night, an excellent race, and he's back on today in the men's 50 breaststroke. There's the lineup for this morning's heats. We have the 200 metres individual medley, and followed by the men's 50 breaststroke, and that will see Adam Peaty and Ross Murdoch back in the water again. But
yeah, along with
James
Wilby as well, who's been swimming particularly well, winner of the 200 breast on Friday. So yeah, lots to look forward to, as you say. We also have Daniel Jervis in the men's 400 free later on in the session. This will be Daniel's first appearance. Stephen Milne up against him in that one. So one event there on your screen, the women's 1500 free. We unfortunately don't have enough swimmers to have two heats, so we'll have final heat in the evening, so that will not be taking place, and as a result we'll just drop straight into I suspect we might have the women's 100 free following the men's 400 free, so that the men don't have two consecutive events, but we'll confirm that later on in the session, Paul, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one later on the session. That's a bit later on this morning. We have the men's 100 free as well for us to enjoy. Commonwealth champion Duncan Scott goes again. He's going on a number of events.
He has weekend, indeed, Duncan. Yeah. Winner last night of the skins. Of course, we've got the skins this evening, the 50 breast and the 50 butterfly. The top 8 and both of those will qualify for that skins. So that's something to look forward to tonight, Paul, to finish the session.
Yeah, it's a little bit something different, the skins. It's 5 races maximum in total, and it's although it's a sprint, it's sometimes the survival of the fittest.
It is indeed.
5 races in very short succession, and Duncan Scott, well, he was able to outlast the more renowned sprinters, David Cumberledge and Duncan Scott, going up against each other in that final 50 freestyle. Swimmers are out for the first event, which is the women's 200 metres individual medley. And in at lane number 2, well, Katie Goodburn for Warren Bass. She's had a good event so far.
She came through storming in that last 10 metres of the 50 freestyle in the junior final. I think she was sitting in lane 3 and just got up to Pip Emma Russell, cracking race. I think that was on Friday, Paul. So yeah, look, we'll see how she goes on this one. 200 metres is probably Katie's limit. Much better on 50 and 100. But yeah, something to look forward to for Katie and all the girls in this one. 3 heats of IM to look forward to. Of course, the final heat will have Hannah Miley, also Abby Wood, and Katie Shanahan, who's also been swimming well from City Glasgow, goes in the second heat. Orla Adams in that second heat, Hannah's old sparring partner and training partner up at Geary in the days when they both trained at Geary, now with the University of Aberdeen Performance. So that's coming up very, very shortly. So we're just about ready to go, Paul. We have the 6 girls going in this one. Katie Goodburn, Emma Day from Manchester, City Manchester, Amy Wilmot from University of Stirling, both in the Commonwealth Games recently, and Candice Hall in 5, Tara Hayworth, the Scot based now in Edinburgh University, in 6, and youngster Scarlett Ferris, 15-year-old from Dundee City Aquatic. So a lot of quality in this one to get us kicking off, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Amy Wilmot will be the firm favourite for this one. She's been in good form already. We saw her in the 400 metres individual medley. Commonwealth champion, of course, in that 400 IM. Amy Wilmot, now based at the University of Stirling. She's moved clubs over the years. She seems to have settled in the University of Stirling now, and great result last year at the Gold Coast in that 400 metres individual medley. Had a number of excellent contests against Hannah Miley over the years. They both have won Commonwealth titles in 400 IM, both gold and silver. Hannah Miley winning in Glasgow in 2014 with Amy Wilmot second, and it was the reverse order when they got to the Gold Coast last year. But Wilmot there just in the lower of the two yellow marked lanes as they come to the halfway point. Candice Hall with a good start in lane number 5, probably third, well, right up there at the top might well be Scarlett Ferris from Dundee City Aquatic. Emma Day also going well. She went well in the 400 yesterday, City of Manchester aquatic swimmer, but looks like Amy Wilmot stretching away at the front of the field here. Top 8 times from all the heats will progress to the A final later.
Yeah, and of course the B final and the junior final, so lots to play for, certainly for some of the juniors. Scarlett Ferris, Katie Goodburn, okay, they're a little bit further back, but it's all about making sure you do enough to qualify. I'm sure they'll be good enough to get into the junior final. That's what their target will be. But down the final stretch, Amy Wilmot and Candice Hall not working terribly hard, Paul, down the final stretch. I'm sure just doing enough to qualify for that final. 6 go in this one, 6 go in the next one, and 6 go in the last heat. So only 18 swimmers take part in the first 3 heats this morning. So most of these, I'm pretty sure, will be in A, B, or junior finals. You have the finish time 2:17.20. Well, about 4 seconds slower than Amy's entry time, but gets the job done first thing.
Yeah, there is the result of that first heat. Amy Wilmot taking it 2:17.20. Candice Hall in second, and Katie Goodburn getting up there in third spot. The junior swimmer. Of course, we have a junior final as well. We have an A, a B, and a junior final.
Even Katie Goodburn's time was at least 4 seconds slower than her entry time, so I think a lot of these girls are probably well aware of what they need to do to qualify for this evening. Let's see, interesting one, Abby Wood, English-based swimmer, Loughborough. She'll be a hot favourite in this one, but sure Katie Shanahan from City Glasgow in that blue cap in lane 5 will certainly give her a run for her money. Abby Wood already about a body length clear at this early stage. Katie Shanahan in 5, on the other side Orla Adams in 3. So for the butterfly, 28.75. Orla Adams and Katie Shanahan vying for second place. Orla Adams, of course, strongest section will be the breaststroke. But very good start here from Abby Wood. 3 or 4 metres clear. Either side of the pool, Ciara Klein from Portsdama in lane 2, going quite nicely. Over on the far side, Serena Guanam and Ellie Riley, 2 juniors. At halfway, Abby Wood 1:03.87. Paul, going very well.
Yeah, Abby Wood really come through the ranks in recent years. We progressed to the Great Britain team, some of the European Championships last year in Glasgow. Commonwealth Games swimmer for England as well, and trying to kind of challenge the big two in individual medley swimming in Britain over the past few years. Amy Wilmot and Hannah Miley, and Abby Wood certainly looks the most likely to challenge those two. Certainly in the distance event, we have had the others, the likes of Siobhan Marie O'Connor, of course, who swims the 200 individual medley. Don't often see her over the 400, but Abby Wood, very much a medley specialist, especially the distance medley as well. But she's going well in this 200 metres individual medley. And she's stretching away from the others. Close contest for second, Orla Adams and Katie Shanahan. No doubt about who's going to take this one though. And that is Abby Wood taking it in 2:15. So slightly faster than that first heat won by Amy Wilmot. Very close at the finish between Shanahan and Orla Adams. A touch just going to Katie Shanahan only by 4/100ths of a second. Katie Shanahan, another one, Robert, who is really emerging through, just 15 years of age.
She is indeed British champion at this event and a number of events. A very good all-rounder, Katie Shanahan, only 15. Well, she turns 15 this year, not quite 15 yet. But, promising swimmer. So on to our third heat. Hannah Miley in this one. No swimmer goes in 5, so Krista Wilson from Newcastle in 1. Lily Booker from Millfield, who's had a good meet. She's in lane 2. Lena Grunsdal from ESV Lunds. Hannah Miley, University of Aberdeen Performance in lane 4. Empty lane in 5. Sophia Wilson from Millfield School in 6. Another useful young Scot, Ellie Turner from Carnegie, goes in lane number 7.
Great to see Hannah Miley back in the water again, Robert, isn't it? Been out after surgery at the tail end of last year.
She has been, yeah. This is probably her first major meet. I think she may have taken part a month or so back up at the district meet up in Aberdeen. This is her first serious international competition. And she's probably not anywhere near peak performance yet, but she performed pretty well yesterday. Finishing, I think she was third in the event that she took part in yesterday, a little bit further back, but she'll want to let everybody know that she means business. Still veteran this year, turns 30, so great to see her still competing at this high level.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 times an Olympian, Hannah Miley, and she may well be trying to make her 4th Olympic Games, which is incredible, really. I mean, we have had people do multiple Olympic Games, but being a distance swimmer like Hannah Miley that's an incredible achievement.
Yeah. And you can see even at this stage, Miley going very strongly on her breaststroke. Always comes through very strongly in that breaststroke section, Paul. And at 150 at 147.44. Well, it's a bit slower than the previous heat. As you can see, both Miley and Goodall just easing back, just doing enough, I'm sure, to qualify for the final this evening. Lily Booker in 2 also going very well. A full school swimmer, and her teammate Sophia Wilson, another green cap, in 6 going well. Ellie Turner Junior in lane 7. A good time for her, 2:24.64, so I'm sure she'll be comfortably in that junior final. Miley takes that pretty easily indeed, 2:20.16.
Krundel from Austria just came up alongside Hannah Miley there in the closing stages, but Miley wasn't going to let the Austrian get to the wall first there, so just a little bit pick up the pace from Miley in the closing stages as the swimmers nearly staggering out of the water there as they exit the water. They put everything into that one, but a good swim there for Hannah Miley. And Lena Krundel, she had a good swim yesterday in the 200 freestyle. Was very strong in the closing stages, looked strong there in the closing stages of that individual medley, and she finished just behind Hannah Miley there. So Hannah Miley in good shape so far, building up her season, coming back from injury. She'll be back in the water tonight, I'm sure, in the final. Over to the other end of the pool now, and it's the 50 breaststroke heats. Some of the big names to come in the later heats. We mentioned them earlier: James Wilby, Ross Murdoch, Adam Peaty. We'll get into the cyclically seeded heats and we get up to heat number 4. This is the 3 swimmers taking part in the early heats, and it's a good chance, Robert, for these youngsters to be up alongside the likes of Adam Peaty and Ross Murdoch.
Yeah, especially some of the juniors in the latter heats. It's always fantastic if you can come home and tell your mum and dad, I was swimming in a lane next to Adam Peaty, or in the same heat as Adam Peaty. Go home and tell your teammates at school as well. So off the first heat, Jamie Littlefield in 3, Dan Kinsella in 4, Ethan Horn in 5. All these lads juniors, so they'll want to try and get down to the pool as fast as they can and try and make that junior final later on. Almost 3 in a line at 15 to go. It's a tight finish. Might just be over that far side in lane 5. Another Glen swimmer, but it's very much on a touch. 31.78 and 31.79. Ethan Horn just takes that from Jamie Littlefield in lane 3. There you have the times on the screen. Horn 31.78, Littlefield 31.79, and Kinsella 32.42. Just coming back to that last event, was a disqualification. Emma Day was disqualified in that last event. So
there's a lineup for the next heat of this 50 breaststroke. Billy Watton from City of Oxford in 2, Andrew McIntosh of Edinburgh University in 3, Cameron Muir and Andrew Hosey in the centre from City of Glasgow, August Matheson from Helsingborg of Sweden, Dermot Sutton from Limerick. What can he do on this St Patrick's Day? I wonder if the Limerick swim will be inspired by his patron saint's days. Very close in the centre here. Might be the Irishman right at the top there. We may well get the touch here. It's very close. Is it going to go to Dermot Sutton? In 30.75, it is indeed. The Limerick swimmer takes that one faster than his entry time, so that was a good swim from the Irishman.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back with that time. A few more juniors still to come up in the latter heats. We've got another 5 ahead of us, but of course these are the faster heats. We do have heats in the afternoon, so certainly the juniors, if you can finish top 5 or 6, you're not saying you're guaranteed, but you get a very good chance of being in the final of that junior final this evening. So that's certainly a very good swim from Dermot. I'm sure we'll be back later on this evening. So Max Hagan in 1, City Glasgow. Liam Doyle, Limerick in 2. Aaron Dolan, Airdrie Monklands 3. Joel O'Halloran, Derwentside in 4. Gustav Persson from Helsingborg in 5. Joseph Murray, Loughborough 6. Alec Castellon from Spain in 7. And Bergen's Nikolai Cerebro in lane 8. It might just be Gustav Persson from Helsingborg in lane 5 with that slight advantage, but it's all very tight. Also in 3, Aaron Dolan, breaststroke specialist from Airdrie Monklands. Between those two, who's going to get the touch? I think it's just in 5. Persson, who takes that 29.56. Dolan 29.76 and 30.21 for Sabro from Bergen. Max Hagan, the junior, 30.38. So that's a faster time as well. 2 juniors, Cerebro and Hagan.
Well, on to heat number 4 now. First of the seeded heats. Here is your lineup. Eric Carr in 2, George Hopkins in 3, James Wilby in 4, Tobias Berg in 5, Greg Butler in 6, Kyle Boyk in 7, and Owen Corby right up there at the top of your picture in lane number 8. James Wilby, well, he was absolutely sensational over the last couple of days. Swam an excellent 200 breaststroke and a fantastic 100 breaststroke. And James Wilby in lane number 4 having to play a little bit of catch up there from lane number 5, and it looks like it is going to go to lane number 5, Tobias Berg from Denmark, who got off really well, and he takes it in 27.99. So good swim there from Tobias Berg from Denmark. James Wilby 28.29, the Commonwealth champion over 200 breaststroke. in the 28-second range, but 27.99, that's pretty swift for this heat swim.
Certainly was. 29.10 for the one junior in that, Owen Corby from Limerick. So the Irish guys are having a good day, Paul.
Another one in this one as well, in the outside lane. They seem to have the monopoly on lane 8 in these heats.
Yeah, Hussein Cook has also had a good meet, also from Limerick. Edward Baxter in 1. Nolan Bovey in 2. David Murphy 3. Ross Murdoch 4. Zach Aitchison 5. Philip Reeve 6. Robert Hawley in 7. And Hussein Cook in lane 8. He's the only junior in this one. Well, Murdoch slowly away compared to lane 6. Philip Grieve, Zach Aitchison in 5 going well, but here comes Murdoch now. 50 probably his weakest of the 3 events, much stronger over the 200, and it may just be Grieve who takes that from Murdoch. Grieve takes that 27.99, Murdoch 28.28, and third place Zach Aitchison 28.35, Shane Cook 29.08 in 5th place. So well, it's pretty comfortable for him getting into the junior final. So with a few youngsters from Ireland performing very well this morning, Paul. Good to see that.
Yeah, and the Danes performing well as well. 2 under the 28-second mark, so 2 at 27.99. But here's the big man, the world record holder, in now in this heat number 6, Jack McComish, the Deaflympic champion over 100 breaststroke. He goes in lane 1. Andre Grundheim in 2. Craig Benson in 3. World record holder Adam Peaty in 4. Melvin Amodu, the German, in 5. Archie Goodburn, the only junior in this one, in 6. Daniel Curtis in 7. And David Bloomfield in lane number 8. Adam Peaty went straight to the top of the world rankings yesterday in the 100 breaststroke. World record holder in this one is straight away into the lead. The young German Melvin Amodu going well alongside Adam Peaty, but it looks like Peaty is on good form and has this one sewn up. Amodu not too far behind, but it is going to be Peaty into the last 5 here. Stretches through in 27.21. Looked fairly comfortable for Adam Peaty there. A little bit of shake of the head. I think he's quite satisfied with that swim this morning. Looked great. 27.21 is a sensational time for Adam Peaty, and he made it look absolutely easy. Very good swim from Peaty. Melvin Amodu, the young German, in 2nd, and the Scot Craig Benson in 3rd there. 27.40 for the German. Good time. That'll make him 2nd to Peaty in the overall standings there. And Craig Benson 28.69. Well, we'll have to wait and see if that's good enough for Benson to make that final.
Well, exactly. Certainly Ross Murdoch pretty good, will be good, but Peaty made that look very, very easy indeed, easing down at the end. I know there was a bit of a shake of the head. And there we have it. We've got the top 8 through to David Murphy and Craig Benson. As you say, Paul, in 9th place, so unless someone withdraws, we won't be having Benson back for this evening for the Skins.
A little bit different setup for the 50-metre events. There's no B final for the 50-metre events, so just a senior final and a junior final. We're on to the women's 50 metres butterfly, and we have 5 heats of this one. Rachel Gillespie, Mulgine Bearsden closest to us in lane 3. Harriet Rogers, Darlington in 4. Alice Meldrum, East Kilbride in lane number 5. Any close contest here? Looks like Harriet Rogers from Darlington maybe just getting the edge as they come into the closing stages here. Entry times 29.0, 29.2, not far away from that entry time. Harriet Rogers takes that one from Darlington. Mulgine and Bearsden. Rachel Gillespie in 2nd, and Alice Meldrum, East Kilbride in 3rd spot. All in the 29 range, and you hear the clacks in there, Robert. It's not any type of emergency. It's a hot heat on the way.
Yeah, we had a wee bit fun with that yesterday because we were on the commentary for the gallery here, and we had the delights of pressing that button and giving them a lot of excitement. So yes, there's some swap prizes in some of the heats, and winner of this heat will get a prize. So a lot to achieve for these girls. Caitlin Cambrook 2, Emlyn Berker-Vert in 3, Anna Vermouth in 4, Amy Grant 5, Emily Ford in 6, and Lucy Ross in 7. And all to play for down the final stretch. And we just really number 6. Oh, it's very tight indeed. It is Emily Ford who just takes that 28.71, 28.89 entry. So nice PB for that. And she'll take away a wee prize.
Yeah, the goodie bag. Did you ever find out what was in that goodie bag?
I never found out. Someone did mention something to do with goggles or Speedo goggles, but I'm sure it will be at least that and a little bit more.
It's going back to the City of Oxford. It's going back to Emily Ford. Next heat is up. Anya Slessor, Kiana McInnes, Elena Phillip, Alice Thomas, Laura Stevens, Jane Brown, Brigitte Sagard and Emma Russell. That is the lineup. Alice Thomas and Laura Stevens have been gold and silver in the 100 and the 200. Alice Thomas, of course, Commonwealth champion in the 200 metres butterfly. She is going now over the sprint distance. Laura Stevens and Alice Thomas coming in absolutely together, trying to make sure of that place in the top 8, and 27.47 for the Welsh swimmer Alice Thomas from Swansea University, next to Laura Stevens, who goes through in 27.62. So just 0.15 of a second separating the two favourites for that heat, and that should see them comfortably through. But what a great last year Alice Thomas has had. She's an experienced swimmer, but really just coming to the very peak of her performance.
Absolutely, yeah. Just coming back to that spot prize, I've just been handed a wee note saying it's a hoodie, so a little bit better than goggles, so very nice. Anya Slessor, Kiana McInnes, Ian Phillip. So on to heat 4, Gabrielle Melbourne Smith in 1, and coming down the stretch, Jeanette Watson in 4. Looks to be fairly comfortable in this one from Tane Bruce. She takes that pretty easily indeed, 26.62. So the Danish champion, into the World Championship. And that time, 26.62. That's a new meet record for Jeanette Watson.
Well, Jeanette Watson, one of the world's very best over the past decade or so. She's coming back after having a baby around about a year or so ago, so a great comeback for Jeanette Watson. Number of Olympic Games she's attended. We would bet against her going to another one in Tokyo next year. There's her Danish teammates coming up now. Emily Beckman and Emily Mickelson in the centre lane. Sophie Smith goes in 1, Lottie Upan, Emily Horn, Emily Beckman, Emily Mickelson, Emma Harvey, Edith Jernstedt and Kate Mills right up there at the top. Danes have really come out of the blocks well this morning. We saw the men in the 50 breaststroke. The women are doing the job in the 50 fly. Beckman and Mickelson in together. 26.93. Emily Beckman again under the 27 second mark. And she will get in first place ahead of her teammate Emily Mickelson. So Emily Beckman, already an internationalist, World Championship swimmer, European Championship swimmer. One of the real crop of Danish female swimmers, certainly, who have coming through the world rankings and winning medals at the major championship. Jeanette Watson has been there for a number of years, got, as I said, been to a number of Olympic Games, got a reward in Rio when the Danish relay team came away with that bronze medal. So a great way to cap a great career, we thought, for Jeanette Watson, but she's back again after having that baby and going for Tokyo. They're going really strong, meet record there, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic, Paul. You see, Danes over in big numbers here, and they have been swimming really, really well. Of course, in a month's time, we've got Glasgow International, and I'm sure the Danish junior team will come over in preparation for upcoming events in the summer. I'm sure looking forward to seeing them in a month's time.
Yeah, just a short hop over.
It is indeed, yeah. appeared last year in preparation for the European Juniors and swam particularly well against a lot of top Scots and English swimmers. We also had some Irish over there, so that's the next big event in Scotland. But off to a very strong start in lane 1, Finlay Saunders. And up there, Fraser Wilson in 2. 3, Owen McBurney from Dumfries. Samuel Greenbank from Cockermouth in 4. Ellis Stevenson from Newport Pagnell in 5. Alfie Scott, Newcastle, has had a very good meet. In lane 6, Angus Allison from Wanderbath in 7. So 200 backstroke. That's Ellis Stevenson with the early advantage. 3 lads almost in a line. Times in this one 2:09 through to 2:11. So as you can see in lane 4 and 5, the 2 fastest qualifiers in this one, Greenbank and Stevenson. Just gone about a metre or so clear. Alfie Scott turning in 3rd, so they're well clear at the halfway mark. Paul, 1:04.
Yeah, Samuel Greenbank with that yellow cap of Cockermouth leading them through here. We saw Luke Greenbank, who's now moved on from Cockermouth and really moving through the rankings, the British rankings, and he won the skins in the backstroke. Luke Greenbank, a great performer for the GB team. I just wonder if Samuel Greenbank is going to follow in his footsteps. He's going the right way about it in this heat. He was the fastest entry time in 2:09.60. Still a junior, Samuel Greenbank. He's under pressure now from the swimmer 1 up from him, from Newport Pagnell, Ellis Stevenson and Alfie Scott from Newcastle. Newcastle juniors have performed well here this week. Won a number of junior titles, especially doing well on the distance events, the Newcastle juniors, so good to see them come up the A1, take part here in Edinburgh. It's going to be Greenbank, first home in the backstroke. That's a familiar phrase, but normally for Luke Greenbank, it's the first time I think we've seen Samuel Greenbank up here in Edinburgh. That yellow cap of Cockermouth for Samuel Greenbank takes that one in that time of 2:14.28. So maybe a little bit disappointed with the time, but he wins the heat and he's given himself an outside chance of maybe another swim in that junior final. But there is a number of juniors to come, Robert, throughout this programme.
Yeah, there's some very talented juniors coming up in this one. Lewis Maxwell, Derwent side, another one from Cumbria. Nice to see. We always seem to get a lot of swimmers coming up from sort of the Newcastle, Sunderland area over on that side of the country, and also from Cumbria, Cockermouth, Derwent side. Swimmers also from Carlisle, so great to see them supporting this. They come up every year. In lane 4, Lewis Maxwell, Adam Wilkes, Newcastle in 1, Conor Massey, City Glasgow, Ryan Robertson, his teammate in 3. 2 backstroke specialists from City Glasgow, Lewis Maxwell, Derwent side, Joe Watt, another backstroke specialist from City Glasgow, goes in 5. Adam Wilson, who's also been having a great meet, from Newcastle in 6. Nicholas Skelton, City Oxford in 7. Another Cockermouth swimmer, Piers Greening in 8. After a very good start, Adam Wilson from Newcastle, and Ryan Robertson just sneaks through 29.98. Maxwell, the fastest qualifier in this one, 2:07.80. At this early stage, it's Ryan Robertson off to a very strong start indeed. He's the Scottish National Age Group champion. Ryan's probably much better over the longer distances on the backstroke than the shorter distances. His teammate Conor Massey the other way around. He's in lane 2, as you can see, a little bit further back, but at this early stage, Ryan Robertson going very nicely over in lane 6, still hanging in there. Adam Wilson And it is indeed Wilson. I think it's now coming through in the second half as Ryan Robertson drops back. It might just be that he's gone out strongly to try and get a split at the 100. That certainly sometimes is a tactic you get, Paul, in these races.
Yeah, it does look like that. He slowed right up, Ryan Robertson. He had a big lead, so that's probably what it was. Going out for a 100 split there for Ryan Robertson. He's left Adam Wilson, Newcastle swimmer, to take up the running here. And he is well clear of the others. Nicholas Skelton maybe challenging there for City of Oxford in 7. Right down at the bottom in lane number 1, Adam Wilkes, his Newcastle teammate. But it is going to be Adam Wilson who's going to bring them home. It's going to be a decent time, 2:08.86 for Adam, just outside his entry time by almost half a second there. Followed home by Nicholas Skelton for City of Oxford. Adam Wilson has been in good form in the junior events, a number of junior titles for him in the distance events, distance freestyle, so we see him over the backstroke there, and he's done a good job there in that heat, winning that one, 2:08.86. Nicholas Skelton 2:10, and City of Oxford have been sending in a tweet wishing good luck to their swimmers, so if you want to tweet us, hashtag EISM19 is the hashtag for that. So send in your messages of good luck. Any questions you have for Robert and I? Robert, you are a referee. Any
indeed.
technical questions for the swimming referee? Yeah, Robert will be pleased to help you out.
I'll do my best, yes. Can't tell you what the disqualifications, if we have any disqualifications, but if you have any questions, please, as Paul says, drop us a note. We'll try and do our best.
We always have the disclaimer when we're commentating on swimming races. What we just commentate on what we see, but
exactly.
The referees and the technical officials may have other ideas, and the official results are always the ones we have to go by. We are not aware if there are going to be any disqualifications or not. It's all guesswork on our part, isn't it?
Well, sometimes from the commentary you get an excellent view of what goes on in the pool. You are actually able to see sometimes a little bit more different angles than our officials poolside. So yes, well, we might see something that is or would normally be called a disqualification. If the officials don't see it, the swimmer always gets the benefit of the doubt, and that's the way it is in swimming. We've got to play by fair rules all round, Paul, and you as an ex-swimmer know that fully.
Oh yeah, technical officials do a great job though. I mean, they travel all over the country. We've got some officials from the south coast of England coming up here to officiate at these championships, and they love coming here to Edinburgh, but the officials do a great job all throughout the year.
They do indeed, and they don't really do it for the money, they do it for the love of the sport. So carrying on to our third heat, Andreas Marks from SG Stat in 1. Jakob Jorgensen, Kastrup in 2. Johan Pons from Spain in 3. Jeffrey Mathieu from Stadtclem in 4. James McFadden, Loughborough in 5. Keir Edgar from First in 6. Mark Ford, City Glasgow in 7. And in 8, Jakob Stung Nielsen from Kastrup. So very strong start in those two middle lanes. Jeffrey Mathieu, Keir Edgar in 6 going nicely, and James McFadden in 5. So those three pulled quite a bit away, 1:32.10. Obviously this is the first of our 3 seeded heats, Paul, so much faster as you would expect. Juniors, Keir Edgar in 6 going extremely well. He's the Scottish National Age Group champion. Keir going strongly, and I'm sure he'll be in the junior final, but at the death, Matthew takes that very easily indeed. And swimmer second is McFadden, and Edgar takes third, 2:02.82. Well, a few seconds slower, but just getting into the final, I'm sure, with that time, 2:02.82 pretty easily.
Should be good enough, I would think, for the Frenchman to come into that final. He was a European Championship swimmer, of course, for France last year, just missing out on that final in 9th position, but I think he's made sure of his place in the final here today. Next heat is coming up now. Second of the cyclically seeded heats, which means we'll see some of the faster swimmers in the centre lane, some of the faster swimmers overall. And Christian Diener and Luke Greenbank go side by side in 4 and 5. The German Christian Diener has been in great form. He actually holds the meet record for this event here at the Edinburgh International. He's a regular visitor here and he's enjoyed his couple of days so far. Full lineup from the bottom. We shall see Daniel Jenkins, another City of Oxford swimmer there closest to us. Will Riley from Bath University in lane number 2. Daniel Hall from Loughborough University in lane number 3. Christian Diener representing Potsdamer, the German, in lane 4. Luke Greenbank, Loughborough University in 5. Scott Gibson, Edinburgh University in 6. Ben Campbell-James, the third Loughborough University swimmer, in 7. And Sam Pease up the top there, going well in the early stages. Sam Pease from University of Stirling. But Christian Diener and Luke Greenbank, well, they've come up against each other already this week in the other backstroke events. 200 backstroke this time. Christian Diener, who's the German, just missed out on the medals at the European Championships this year. He's been a finalist in the Olympic Games in this event as well, finishing 7th in the Olympics. And Luke Greenbank, another one really trying to stake his claim in this Great Britain team. He's been a Great Britain team member now for a couple of years. Commonwealth Games as well, just missing out on the Commonwealth Games medals, finishing 4th, but real good chance for someone in Great Britain on the backstroke to really put themselves in a great position for international medals. I mean, you've got the likes of Adam Peaty on breaststroke, James Guy on fly, Duncan Scott on freestyle, 3 of the world's top performers. Someone, if they grasp the nettle on backstroke, Great Britain are going to have a superb medley relay team in the men.
That's absolutely correct. Of course, we've got Craig McNally, but Craig now getting to the veteran stage. And as you say, Paul Greenbank is probably our big hope in Britain, and he's going very nicely. They're still doing enough. These two are certainly going to be qualifying for this evening, and that's something to look forward to. Well, just over the 2-minute mark for both of them, 2:02:41, 2:03:34, and there's certainly plenty left in the tank for both of them. So lots to look forward to this evening with that one.
Christian Diener looked ridiculously relaxed there in that final 50 there, just coasting in 2:03.34. So the German up for another title, I'm sure, in the backstroke. He's performed well in the 50, performed well in the 100, and the 200 looking good so far. One more heat to come. And there is the lineup for this one, right down at the bottom. Gianno Napolitano from University of Stirling, Andreas Elmgreen from Denmark in 2. Elliot Clogg, City of Sheffield, goes in lane number 3. Craig McNally, University of Stirling, in lane 4. Brodie Williams has had a good competition here, and he goes for Millfield School in lane 5. Jacob Greenout from Bath University in 6. Jack Shillinglaw from Ellesmere College in 7, and Ben Staig from Loughborough University at the top in lane number 8. And Craig McNally, you mentioned him earlier, Robert. He quite often see him swim 200 backstroke in his unique fashion.
Yeah, it's a bit different to watch.
Always storms through, or always tended to storm through in the closing stages of that 200 backstroke, and relaxed over the first 150, and then maybe on the last 50 just really put the pressure on. And McNally goes in lane number 4. He does look relaxed at the moment.
He does indeed. You always kind of feel that he's not doing very much in the race, and then all of a sudden, bang, and he comes through it. But just taking it pretty easily at the moment. So experienced, he'll know what he has to do to qualify for this final. halfway mark. It's Williams in 5, and McNally in 4th, but a second and a half back. Still early. Superb body length behind those 3 at the moment. You'd expect them to, after the next turn, put in a very storming performance down that last 50. And Elliot Clogg from City Sunderland going pretty well there in lane 3 now. He's just taken it up, 1:32.04. McNally still, he's actually dropped down to 5th place, so he's got to do a pretty late McNally charge to get in there, but here he comes. Just beginning to pick up now, Paul. And, don't be surprised if he actually takes us at the end.
There's again a trademark charge at the end for McNally. 5 swimmers coming in absolutely together here. McNally is just going to be beaten, I think, by Brodie Williams and by Elliot Clogg. With McNally in 3rd spot, coming through strongly at the end. Brodie Williams taking that in 2:03.87. Elliot Clogg in 2nd. McNally in 3rd place, just getting ahead of Jacob Greeno and Andreas Elmgreen. We finished on the 2:05, and that could be vital actually. Only the top 8, of course, making it through to the final. I think McNally's probably done enough, but well, I think maybe they've all done enough as they come up. The top 8 just scrolling through our screen. It's Brodie Williams taking that one. Great Britain swimmer Brodie Williams, Elliot Clogg in 2nd, and Craig McNally in 3rd. And the top 5 from that last heat, I think I've made it. James McFadden is the one who's going to miss out in 9th place.
Yep, and McNally, that was a pretty fast last heat there. Advantage with the guys going in that last event. They'll know exactly what they have to do to try and qualify for the final, and there were about 4 or 5 in there at the death, and you know, good to see. But the earlier heats, certainly the lads in the middle lanes were pretty comfortable. The rest of the field were absolutely nowhere in relation to where the action was happening, Paul. And fastest qualifier in the juniors was Keir Edgar. A good swim from him. He finished 10th, so he'll be in the B final. Although he is a junior, we have all the juniors. It doesn't matter whether they're in the A, B or junior final, they go into wherever they finish.
And of course more swims this afternoon. It's all provisional finals at this stage, isn't it?
It is indeed.
The events, the slower entry times come this afternoon, but still the opportunity to make your way into one of the finals this evening from this afternoon's heats as well. Move on to the next event. You would have heard the early warning system go for this first heat. Another hot heat for the first heat of this women's 200 metres backstroke. And we have the 5 swimmers there all vying for the prize. Annabelle McCrory from Derwentside, Ava Simpson Dumfries, Rachel Saunders Warren de Bass, Morven Lister Carnegie and Alice Meldrum from East Kilbride. And you know, these hot heats, Robert, have really been successful because the swimmers have really responded to them. And you see the faces of the swimmers when that klaxon goes off. The smile over their face, the excitement. Some of them start jumping about, we saw yesterday. And some have produced really, really good times. It really seemed to inspire the swimmers to go for it. That goodie bag, that hoodie, now we know what's in it.
We've had some swimmers in the outside lanes that you would never have expected coming in. And maybe they don't win the heat, but some of them have actually taken seconds off their time, and you know, you see the smile on the face when they've actually won that race. It's almost as though Christmas has come early. So yeah.
I wonder if the random generator pulls out the likes of Adam Peaty and Duncan Scott. Do you think the same level of excitement would be?
I don't think you'd get the same level of excitement.
Well, we might see. We might see.
Yeah.
The random numbers might just come up
might be.
For these big guys.
Well, I can tell you my random numbers didn't come up last night in the lottery, so there we go, Paul. But 50 to go, and Morven Lister looks as though she may well have a big smile on her face. She's got a comfortable lead over Rachel Saunders. Morven Lister from Carnegie. Oh, she's well clear in this one, Paul. And third at the Scottish National Championships, and fourth at the British Championships. This is probably Morven's strongest event, backstroke. A pretty good all-rounder from Carnegie. Our teammate Ellie Turner, also very strong backstroke swimmer, but Morven in her first heat will certainly have a big smile on her face. Takes that in 2:22.20. That's a pretty good, useful time at this stage in the season. Rachel Saunders 2:26.36 in second. Eva Simpson 2:27.17. So that's the first prize for that event going to Morven Lister. That's the second of our hoodies today, and 2 ladies so far. I suspect the next event will probably be the guys, but as you say, Paul, it's random, so you never know what's going to come out the hat.
Well done, Morven Lister. She will accept her prize and a decent time to boot as well. So well done to the Carnegie swimmer. And, her teammate Ellie Turner goes a little bit later on, goes in the last heat, I think, Ellie Turner. So this is heat 2 of 4. Straight into the seeded heats this time. Daniel Rayner, that green cap, closest to us, University of Stirling. Emily Osborne, Loughborough University in lane number 2. Have no one in lane number 3, but we do have Marina Hella Hansen from Hovenstatens in lane number 4. Katie Shanahan back in the water again. Had a tough programme over this weekend. The City of Glasgow Junior. Emily Grant from University of Stirling in 6. Jessica Damon, Edinburgh Uni in 7. And Abby Sinclair, second of the juniors in this one from Warrender Baths. Goes up there in lane number 8. Well, slow start, you have to say, by the Dane. Marina Heller Hansen from Hovenstatens in the centre lane. Normally expect the centre lanes to be the head of that spearhead, but it's kind of like in almost a W shape there.
Yeah, you've got the spearhead, but it's an odd spearhead over on that far side. It's in the wrong position, Paul. Lane 6, it should really be 4-5-3, but this early stage, it's Emily Osborne 1:06.77. Loughborough swimming going particularly well, and the rest of the field have got a lot to do.
Yeah, they have. I just wonder if Marina Hella Hansen is going to do what we'll call a McNally and come back in the closing stages of this one. She's certainly picking up in as they go into the second 100. She looked in good form, Marina Hella Hansen, in the final last night. Not sure she is going to catch Emily Osborne here, who's going well. Loughborough University in lane number 2. She's followed closely by Katie Shanahan. And Katie Shanahan, Robert, someone you know well, and she's really coming through the ranks, Katie Shanahan.
Yeah, it's difficult to know which is her best stroke. I actually think that her backstroke is probably the strongest. Very strong on breaststroke. Freestyle, marvellous freestyler, and you know, probably her butterfly is her worst event, but her butterfly, she's still good enough to be top 3 in Scotland in that one. But Katie Shanahan, junior, has actually had a cracking swim. Very mature the way she swims these events. 2:18.63. It's not a fast time, but she wins the heat pretty easily indeed. Maria Hella Hansen comes through in third, 2:20.84, and the early leader, Emily Osborne, 2:20.51. Katie Shanahan, some 6 seconds slower, and time. That's not the names. These are the names for the next heat. That was pretty comfortable for Katie there.
Yeah, she looked pretty good. She's got a chance of making that A final, certainly in the second half of that one. She was really good, and Marina Hella Hansen, she did come back in the closing stages, finishing in third place, just behind Emily Osborne. I did say with about 50 to go she wasn't going to catch her, and I was right, but only just. It was only 0.3 in third place with 2 more heats to come. Well, might be a struggle.
It's an interesting one there, Paul, because the last 2 heats, all the entry times are 2:20 or better, so if they all swim to those entry times, you would find that Marina Hella Hansen wouldn't even be in a B final, but I'm sure that won't be the case. Very strong start, Jessica full of love. She's already won the 100 back. She was runner-up in the 50 to Cassie Wild. Cassie Wild goes in the next heat. Cassie's stronger over the shorter distances. Full of love going really well in 4. And at early stage, 30.88. And from the top, Iona McLeod, good junior. She's actually had some cracking swims on backstroke, not quite so good on her freestyle over the weekend, but coming through nicely. Sina Guanam, City Glasgow goes in 2, the empty lane in 3. Jessica full of love, well clear in 4. Sophie Hobart from the City leads in 5. Tora Beer from Denmark in 6. Molly Allen, Loughborough in 7. And another Dundee City Aquatic swimmer, another good youngster, Scarlett Ferris, youth development squad member, over in lane 8. Jessica 104.59. Well, looks pretty comfortable in the lead here.
Yeah, she's been pretty impressive, I think, this weekend. Jessica full of love, Commonwealth Games swimmer from England in the last 2 Commonwealth Games, really trying to push towards Tokyo in 2020. She's been there or thereabouts for the last 5 years or so in terms of British rankings, but I think out of all the women backstrokers this weekend, she's been the most impressive. She's really gone for this one. She's building up towards the GB trials for the World Championships to be held later on this summer. The trials held in about a month's time in Glasgow. Full of love, looking in good shape, like swimming at Bath University. She's previously based in Manchester, and she is making sure that she is going to qualify for this top 8. Commonwealth Games finalist in this one, and she eases in to the finish there in 2:14.89, so that should be comfortably into the final. Full of love, I think, is looking in good shape, Robert, as they go towards these trials. Looking very good this weekend.
Yeah, she's certainly been picking up, as you say, the last couple of years. Good out the juniors, and now really in the senior ranks, beginning to make a mark. That's a pretty impressive swim. 3 swimmers all under 2:20. Iona McLeod 2:24.66. Serena Guaram just behind her, so a good time for Iona, one of the juniors. So I'm sure that time will probably be good enough to get into the junior final.
Last heat coming up now. Well, I mentioned Cassie Wild earlier. I'm not sure if we are going to see Cassie Wild in this one, though.
It looks as though she has withdrawn. As I say, Paul, certainly much stronger over 50 and 100. 200, well, she's good. It's maybe just 100 metres too far for her, she sometimes finds.
Well, good shot there of Laura Stevens taking the start. She's back in the water again. Laura Stevens seems to have a tough programme with individual medley, backstroke and butterfly swim. She's in that silver cap of Plymouth Leander, just behind the leader at the moment, who's Africa Zamorano of Spain. Full lineup for this one. The right hand side of the screen there, Niamh James from Bishop Stortford. Ellie Turner, spoke about her earlier, she goes in 2. Laura Stevens, that silver cap in lane 3. Africa Zamorano, European Championships and World Championship swimmer from Spain, goes in lane 4. Emma Bell goes in 6, next to her Loughborough University teammate Candice Hall in 7, and Holly Shan from Elgin out there in lane number 8. But Zamorano, one of the relatively small but very top quality Spanish team that have come to compete here at the Edinburgh International. Some real experienced top names and some real emerging talent from Spain. They came last year in the midst of the snow, in the midst of the beast from the east, yep. And they're back again for more of the Edinburgh International this year. Yeah, there are just a handful over, but all quality swimmers here. And Africa really beginning to take it out. That looks very comfortable. Some of these swimmers, as I say, just have to do enough in the morning heats to qualify.
So probably 3 or 4 seconds slower than their entry time. And both these ladies going particularly well. Laura Stevens had a very strong couple of days. Very busy programme, as you say, Paul. And, it's pretty good in second place over on that far side. Candice Hall, another Loughborough swimmer. Got a number of swimmers up from Loughborough again this weekend. And, that looks to be the 1, 2, 3. Ellie Turner, the junior, going well in lane 2. Well, 2:15.72. Candice Hall finishing third in 2:20.17. Well, that might mean that Hella Hansen doesn't quite make it. We've also got the screen, that dreaded screen appearing, which may suggest there has been a disqualification. We'll find that out in a wee minute. But it was pretty comfortable there for Africa.
Yeah, she looked fairly good there. Frigga Zamorano, as the swimmers exiting the water. Well, I think they've put everything into that one. Candice Hall making her way out of the water. We did see that shot of Laura Stevens yesterday morning when she swam that 400 metres individual medley, and the pain was etched over the face of Laura Stevens yesterday. She's back for more today. She had a good swim there. The result's been confirmed now, so no disqualifications, just the no-show from Cassie Wilde. But as they go into the final, Zamorano and Fullalove will be the top two, and it should be a good contest between those two. Marina Hella Hansen did miss out on the final. She's just been touched out there by Emily Osborne in that first heat, and that has made the difference. She finishes 9th, so the Dane, one of the pre-race favourites, won't be taking part in the A final unless, of course, there is a withdrawal. So sometimes on this final day of competition, people's transport arrangements possibly might mean there might be withdrawals, but we can never tell.
Exactly. There could well be one or two that decide they've got a plane to catch this evening and may drop out, but no guarantee that will happen.
Weather's nice this year, though. I mean,
it is.
You could have understood it last year in the middle of the snow, but it's a nice bright day in Edinburgh this morning. Pretty cold wind, but not too bad for this time of year. Certainly nothing like we had last year at this time when it was completely snowbound, and the Commonwealth pool was almost the only thing open in the whole of the city of Edinburgh last year for this meet. The Beast from the East certainly had its toll, but it was pretty hot in here in the Commonwealth pool last year, and we've seen some good stuff again this year in this international. We're on to the next event, which is the 100 freestyle for men. We have 5 swimmers in this first heat. Lewis Birrell in 2, Eugene Brooks-Clark in 3, Angus Nicholl going in 4, Miles Lapsley in 6, and John Keane in lane 7. The 2 West Lothian swimmers up the top. 2 City of Sheffield, Eugene Brooks-Clark, and Angus Nicholl, City of Glasgow in 4. Eugene Brooks-Clark maybe just edging Angus Nicholl here. They come into the red markers. Could be City of Sheffield. The long levers of Eugene Brooks-Clark getting in there in 54.03. Not bad swim at all for Brooks-Clark. His brother on the GB programmes, Cameron Brooks-Clark, so Eugene Brooks-Clark. We've seen a number of siblings here swimming at these championships, so good swim in that first heat of 6, just 0.2 or so slower than his entry time, so not bad swim for early on a Sunday morning.
Pretty good, yeah. Next one has a complete field of juniors. Empty lane in one of those. Josh Haloney in 1 from Swansea University. Sonny Kennedy, Wonderbaths, goes in 2. Johan Rydal from Helsingborg 3. Fraser Agnew in 4. Empty lane 5. Linus Carl from Landskrona in 6. Liam McLaughlin, Wonderbaths in 7. Maxwell Cattermole of Bro St Thomas goes in 8. So all these lads in a sort of 52-53 second range. Coming down the stretch, lanes 3 and 4, very much to the fore, Johan Rydal and Fraser Agnew. As Agnew perhaps just shades this Aberdeen swimmer in lane 4. But not much between the two. Linus Carl, Lance Crona also well there in 6, but Agnew I'm sure is just going to take this. Agnew takes that. 52, 53. 53.07 for Rydal, and Carl 53.47. So might find Eugene Brooks Clark at 54.03. It might sneak him in. There's 4 faster than him in that heat. We still have a couple of juniors to come, so he'll certainly be in the junior final provisionally at the moment, depending on what happens this afternoon, Paul. So he'll be pleased with that, I'm sure, Eugene Brooks. To heat number 3.
Yeah, heat 3 sees Daniel Curtis from Helsingborg, Ross Leslie, Edinburgh University, Joe Watt, City of Glasgow, Kyle Boyek, University of Stirling, Eric Fries from Potsdamer. Off to a good start there in lane number 5. Jeffrey Chen, Bath University in 6th. The youngster Rasmus Nicholson impressed us all in the 50 metre butterfly skins on day 1, and Alex Bragazzi, the Isle of Man swimmer, now swimming for Loughborough University in lane number 8. But the young man Rasmus Nicholson, just 15 years of age this year, just 1 lane down from the top, going well in the early stages. Ross Leslie is picked up in that second 50 though, and Ross Leslie could be the man to come home in front. Edinburgh University, it's clear water between him and the rest of the field. 51.68 for Ross Leslie, an improvement on his entry time by 0.1 of a second, and 52.11 for Eric Fries, who had a good start, was fast off the blocks, Eric Fries. And in 3rd spot was Kyle Boyek of University of Stirling. So good time there from Ross Leslie in heat 3. We're into the seeded heats now though, Robert, heat 4.
Yeah. Nicholson 52.32, that's the fastest junior time so far. So for seeded heat, Sebastian Ovesen from Kastrup in 1, Jarvis Parkinson, Loughborough in 2, Matthias Rygaard, Denmark in 3 rather, Christopher Carlson, Helsingborg in 4, Kevin Witt Christensen, Farum in 5, Melgs McKenzie at Loughborough in 6, Marcus Koiberg Svendensen from Denmark in 7, and Kevin Wallbank, Loughborough in 8. So big international field in this one, Paul. In 3, Matthias Rygaard from Denmark, possibly just shades this. Very close, Christian Carlson, Helsingborg, Swede going well. But, those two just beginning to pull away inside the final 10 metres. Pretty comfortable, both of them. And also in 5, finishing strongly. It's Christensen. Christensen just gets up to take 2nd, but Rygaard 50.26. They make it look so easy, don't they, Paul?
Yeah, it was very, very good. Very strong in the closing stages there for Matthias Rygaard there. Very Scandinavian feel about the top 3 there. Rygaard and Christensen and Carlson taking that top 3. Move on to heat number 5 now. Scott Goldby from Edinburgh University in 1, Elliot Clogg, City of Sheffield in 2, Marcus Lee, Norwegian, performed well this week, he goes in 3, Scott McLeay from University of Stirling goes in lane 4, next to Edinburgh University's David Cumberledge. Callum Bain goes in 6, next to his University of Stirling teammate Callum Laurie, and Grant Henderson, City of Glasgow, completes the lineup in lane number 8. But well, centre lanes going well here. Cumberledge, as you might expect, got off to a good start. The sprint specialist, you would say, over the 50 freestyle, but also a very good 100 freestyler as well. Marcus Lee has had a good week, the Norwegian, and he is contesting the lead with Cumberledge and Scott McLeay as they come into the finish here. And it might be Cumberledge just taking that one in 50.84. So David Cumberledge, the English Commonwealth Games swimmer, he gets in ahead of Marcus Lee from Norway, the Norwegian has featured very heavily actually in a number of the events this week. Scott McClay just in 3rd spot. Might be enough to claim him a place in that top 8 with just one heat to come.
Callum Bain in 4th, so I think he'll be sweating to try and make a final in this one. But, Duncan Scott, Jack Thorpe, the two likely candidates in this one. Thomas Kingham from Bath University in 1, Martin Walton, University of Stirling 2, Callum Jarvis, Bath University 3, Duncan Scott in 4, University of Stirling, Jack Thorpe, Edinburgh Unit in 5, Craig McLean, University of Stirling in 6, Kieran McGuckin, Edinburgh University in 7, Archie Goodburn, the only junior in this one, from Mordarbass in 8. Well, it's Scott and Thorpe, 24-11, 24-36. And Duncan Scott looking pretty comfortable in this one. There's 6-time medalist from recent Commonwealth Games, and you can see just easing down the last 15 metres, Paul. Doing just enough, and takes that pretty easily indeed. 50-15, well, that's the fastest, so he'll have pole position for this evening's final. Jack Thorpe, 50-50, also pretty easily in 2nd. Craig McLean, good swim, University of Stirling swimmer who's just beginning to come through the ranks. Good junior, and part of the Scottish team now. And he'll want to take that on further. And Scott McLean just drops into 9th place, 51-14. Also being in 11, so.
Oh, yeah, very close margins there. Scott McLean just missing out on that top 8 there. So Callum Jarvis, the Welsh swimmer, just making his way out of the water. He's going to miss out on the A final as well. Experienced man from Wales with that that huge beard, and I'm sure we won't see them with that big beard when it comes to the World Championship trials in Glasgow in a month's time. That beard will have gone. Just the small margins might make the difference to make that GB team for the World Championship. So we'll see a clean-shaven Callum Jarvis, I'm sure, when we get to those trials event. Duncan Scott, though, well, he was the Commonwealth Games champion. What a superb swim he had in the Gold Coast in that 100 freestyle, ahead of the Olympic champion in 100 freestyle. It was more than the Scottish team could have hoped for a year ago in Australia. So he qualifies in 1st for that 100 freestyle. We move on to the 200 metres breaststroke. Just 3 heats, so we're right into the seeded heats. So the big names already in the centre of the pool. The lineup for this one: Katie McKenzie, that blue cap down at the bottom there for City of Glasgow. Amy Wilmot back in the water again, the medley specialist, goes in lane 2. Lily Booker, green cap of Millfield, in lane 3. Molly Renshaw, very much the favourite for this one, the European and Commonwealth Games medalist in this one, finalist in the Olympics and the World Championship. So real quality for Molly Renshaw, goes in lane 4. Anna Vermouth from Hovenstatens goes in lane number 5. 2 Loughborough swimmers, Abby Wood and Carmela Kitching, in 6 and 7. And Alwyn Cook, the Irish swimmer from Limerick, goes up there in lane number 8. But Molly Renshaw swimming now at Loughborough. She had a great record in this event over recent years, and the 200 breaststroke has been a real quality event. There's been a number of contenders in Great Britain for that 200 breaststroke title: Chloe Tutton, Molly Renshaw, and the British record holder Jocelyn Ouliette, who has not had the best of the last couple of years, but I wonder how she will perform when they get to the trials as well. Jocelyn Ouliette, the British record holder. But at the moment, Molly Renshaw looking pretty good, looking pretty comfortable. Abby Wood 2 lanes up from her, also going well, and in the middle of those two is Anna Vermouth from Hovenstatens. But it is Molly Renshaw, the pre-race favourite, comfortably first as they go into the final 50.
Yeah, she's well clear in this one. Abby Wood, we've seen her early this morning, and good all-rounder Abby Wood. certainly probably her breaststroke is the best of the 4 disciplines, and she's coming through quite strongly in the latter stages. Always been a good breaststroker from the early junior days, and certainly only about a body length back in second place, but this is pretty comfortable for Renshaw. Takes that in 2:30.28. So around 7 seconds slower than entry time. And the board, Paul, has gone blank again. So
never a good
never
sign.
sure. Sometimes it can be quite innocent. It might just be a time. They've not managed to get the time on the pads, and they've got to check a time, so they don't want to put something up on the board that might not be correct. So we'll wait and see. It won't take the officials long to sort that one out. But that was pretty good for Renshaw.
Yeah, always a nervous wait when that board goes blank. Yeah, I do think we do have a disqualification. Similar in lane 1, Katie McKenzie was disqualified in that one, but we do have Molly Renshaw confirmed as first place, and that should progress her easily to the final. Abby Wood also with a good chance as well of that final. Anna Vermouth, well, she'll have to wait for the next couple of heats to come. Jill Taylor goes in lane number 1 for Newcastle in this second heat. Animal Guide Johnson from Edinburgh University in 2. Stina Kazakolju from Lambert Seta in 3. Marina Garcia from Spain, one of the experienced Spanish team, goes in 4. Here's Justin Ulate, the British record holder, goes in lane number 5. Megan Morrison, her Loughborough University teammate, goes in 6. Hannah Brunzel from Vasteras in 7. And Sophia Wilson from Millfield goes in lane number 8. So Marina Garcia just missed out on the medals in the European Championships last year, 4th position. And she goes alongside the British record holder, Justin Ulate, who's represented England at the Commonwealth Games and really had a fantastic 2017, breaking the British record, qualifying for the World Championship team. She hasn't had the best last couple of years, but hopefully she'll see a return to form this year. She tries to make her way into the GB team for the World Championships yet again. Justin Ulate looks like she is heading them through at the halfway point here, Robert, but it's a close contest.
It is a close contest, yeah. Certainly going pretty well on that first 100. Let's hope that she can keep this going. Maria Garcia, a strong second half. Spanish champion, as you say, just missing out on a medal at the Europeans, and she's beginning to get almost on terms with it. Still well there. It's a little between the two. The Spanish swimmers now just beginning to get the upper hand. So 150.66, it's advantage of almost a second off that turn. Stina's going well, so those three have pulled well clear, and they look pretty comfortable for the final this evening. Just 15 or so to go. And Garcia still about a body length clear. Ruslanula looks as though she's dropped back, Paul, into 3rd place. Maybe just doing enough to qualify for the final. That's a little bit faster than that previous heat, 2:28.98. Well, at 2:30.242 in 3rd. I'm sure that'll probably be good enough, Paul, to get her into a final.
Yeah, a little bit faster there, as you said, Robert, from that first heat. Marina Garcia taking that one. And it was 2nd place to the Lambert Seta swimmer, Stina Kazakolju, coming through strongly. Justin Ulate testing herself through the first 100 and easing back on the second. Big names here in this final heat. We have Yvonne Brown going in lane number 1 from East Kilbride. The two junior swimmers, the two bookends in this one. Yvonne Brown in 1 and Nicole Reynolds in lane number 8. In the centre though, Josephine Pedersen from Denmark in lane 2 had an excellent 50 breaststroke skins. She was qualified in lane number 1 for the skins, went all the way to the final and got second position in those breaststroke skins. Hannah Miley back in the water again, back testing herself again, as we are used to seeing Hannah Miley do multiple events in these domestic competitions here in Scotland. Jessica Val, though, the real quality of this field, the Spanish swimmer, World Championship medalist and one of the great Spanish swimmers of the last decade or so. Jessica Val still going strong at the age of 31 this year. Georgia Coates from Bath University, not too far behind a great Spaniard in the early stages here as they come to halfway. Orla Adams goes in 6th from Aberdeen Performance. Cara Hanlon had a good swim in the 100 breaststroke. She goes up there in lane number 7, and as I said, the second junior Nicole Reynolds from Dundee City Aquatic in the outside lane in lane number 8. But Jessica Val, again, she looked really good. She won the skins just ahead of Josephine Pedersen, who did a remarkable job for Denmark just to negotiate her way through the rounds of the skins. But Jessica Val just too strong, and the 200 breaststroke very much the speciality of Jessica Val, the World Championship finalist, European Championship silver medalist, and just missed out on the finals of the Olympic Games. So real quality swimmer we're seeing here at the front of the field, Robert.
We are indeed, and she's well clear with just around 30 metres to go. 4 or 5 metres clear. Second place, Georgia Coates. And Hannah Miley has got still some work to do if she wants to ensure she's in that final. She's lying 3rd. Probably something in the low 230s will be good enough, and that's a very strong swim from Val. Meet record is 2:24.92. Well, even this morning, not far off that meet record, 2:26.36. Coates 2:31.15 and Miley 2:34.47. Well, might just be enough to get Hannah Miley into the final in 3rd place. Cara Hanlon 2:34.79. Also was probably on the borderline, Paul. But Val looked pretty impressive in that. There we have it. Nice happy smile from Jessica.
She seems pretty satisfied with that one. She is a meet record holder, set that last year. I wonder if she's going to challenge that tonight. She looked comfortable, and you said, Robert, just a second or so outside that meet record that she set last year. That has got to be under threat tonight as she builds up for the World Championships later on this year. Well, it does look like Hannah Miley might have just made it in there, just.
Yeah, just on those times. Hannah Miley scraping in 8th place, and in 7th, Jocelyn Witt also. So they'll be in the outside lanes unless we have any withdrawals. But, we'll certainly have an interesting race between the two Spanish girls and Molly Renshaw. So that's another one to look forward to. Of the 50 breast with Murdoch, Holby and of course Adam Peaty, but certainly quality for the women this evening.
Absolutely, the European silver and bronze medalists going up against each other tonight in the final, so that'll be a cracker, don't miss that one.
So something a bit more sedate, if we could call 400 freestyle for the guy who's sedate. Joshua Loney, Swansea Uni in 1. Kieran Thomas, Newcastle in 2. Adam Wilson, another run back in the pool. Did plenty over the weekend. Newcastle in lane 3. Max Murphy, Loughborough Uni in 4. Liam McLaughlin, local swimmer from Warner Bass in that red cap in 5. In 6, Fraser Agnew from University of Aberdeen Performance. Angus Allison, Warner Bass in 7. Lewis Maxwell, Derwent side, goes in 8. So a number of these swimmers will maybe swim a couple of events in each of these sessions. So the times in this one, just a little bit over the 4 minutes, 4:03.99 through to 4:11.26. All these swimmers, with the exception of Max Murphy in lane 4, are all juniors. So there will be a junior final for the 400 and just the A final for the 400s. We have A and B finals for all the shorter events, but just the 2 finals for those. So important for these juniors to crack on. We've a couple of juniors coming up in the next heat. And of course, you never know, there's some juniors in the afternoon that might sneak their way into a junior final. So this early stage, Max Murphy, Ian McLaughlin, Kieran Thomas, those 3 pretty much in a line.
Thought Liam McLaughlin did a good job in the 1500 on day 1 of this competition. He's Warren der Bassett, familiar red cap, and he'll be well used to swimming in this pool.
He certainly is. This is one of the home pools that Warren are training. So he'll train in more the swim down pool. This is the 50-metre pool at the other end of. You might just about see it when the camera comes halfway down. The diving pool, which is just at the far end behind those signs of East District, is where the diving pool is, and that's a 25-metre pool, and all of the Warner swimmers train in there. But they also train in the 50-metre pool as well, so a good mixture of training short and long course here.
The real history for the Warren der Bass Club. I don't know what age are Warren der, but they've had their centenary here, haven't they?
They had their centenary. I think, yeah, I think they probably go back about 130, almost about 140 years. I suspect. Yeah, 130 odd years. So one of the oldest clubs in the country, and certainly the biggest club in Scotland. I think they've got. Don't quote me on this, but probably somewhere in the region of members of about 400. So it's a massive club. McLaughlin's still going well in lane 5. It's now Adam Wilson who's forged ahead. Newcastle swimmer. The 2 Newcastle swimmers in 2 and 3 just beginning to pull away a little bit, or trying to pull away. Liam McLaughlin and Max Murphy, Loughborough University, and Warren der Bass trying to hang in there. So 50 to go, 3:38.49. Wilson and Thomas, I think they're going to do enough to take 1 and 2, unless their 2 lads can put some sort of sprint in. They look all pretty comfortable for the junior final, Paul.
Yeah, the 2 Newcastle swimmers, just saw the overhead shot there. They look very, very similar techniques as they went into that final turn. It's Kieran Thomas, though, well, looks like he might have the edge over his teammate in the closing stages. A good finish there, 4:08.75. Adam Wilson in 2nd spot there. In fact, in 4th spot, he was just pipped by the other 2. Goodness, yeah. I thought that Wilson might have got 2nd there, but he wasn't. It was McLaughlin in 2nd, Max Murphy in 3rd, and Wilson actually in 4th place. Well, that was a close finish there at the end of that 400. Well, the 2 Newcastle swimmers side by side there, but it was Kieran Thomas who had the strength in that closing 50 metres there. He'll be pleased with that finish that he had there, 4:08.75 for him, and that's just shy of his entry time. Next heat is about to go, and there I've heard the klaxon. It's another hot heat.
At least the winner can come out of here with a smile on the face after 4 minutes or so. A couple of juniors go in this one. Again, bit of an international field. Swedes in this one. French swimmer goes in 1. Baptiste Comas from Steklem. Ali Bentis from Edinburgh University in 2. Daniel Ferguson, West Lothian, in lane number 3. No one in 4. Alvi Helmge from Hovenstatens in 5. Willie Foster, Loughborough University, goes in 6. Alexander Savic from Serbia in 7. Christian Rasmussen in 8 from Kastrup. So the times in this one just a little bit over 4 minutes, 4:02 right through to 4:03. So on paper should be nothing between the whole field. A strong start in lane number 6. Loughborough's Lee Foster taking out strongly at the early stage. At the far end of the field, they've got the slight advantage. 57-39 for the first 100, Paul. So a pretty strong start from those 3 lads over on the far side. We'll see how this one develops.
Yeah, it's pretty close between the 3 here in 5, 6 and 7. Alvi Helm from Hovenstatten, Willie Foster Loughborough, Alexander Savic from Serbia. It's good to see strong Danish contingent, strong Scandinavian contingent here. We spoke about them earlier on, but they've been real supporters of this Edinburgh International meet, and seems to just fit in with the timing of the season for the Danish swimmers. They always come here and they always perform pretty well. We've seen them take some titles in the past, and we've seen them take some titles in the last couple of days. More to come tonight, I would imagine. Alvi Helm, one of those Danes, is leading them through, and that's the halfway point. We're not quite into the seeded heats yet, just 2 seeded heats of this 400 freestyle. And they will come in heat 3 and 4. So good chance though for someone to post a time to try and make their way into that A final, but as you said, Robert, just an A final and a junior final, so might have to be quite an improvement for anyone to make it into that A final tonight. Alvi Helm is going through, the Hovenstadt swimmer. Alexander Savic, he's performed well. The Serbian made his way into a couple of the junior finals. In fact, he almost missed his final the other night because he had one final.
He did indeed.
And another one in quick succession. He was still doing his swim down.
Yeah,
and he just made it to the block.
He was in lane 1. As you say, Paul, he just scraped into the A final. And as a result of swimming, I think it was a 200 literally about 3 or 4 minutes prior to that. He literally just finished his event, and there was a ladies 50 before that, so he had hardly enough time to get from one end of the pool to the other. So there was a very slight delay.
And it was skins as well, so he had the prospect of 550s. It didn't work out that way for him.
He actually was one of the ones that dropped out in the first one, so but I'm sure he enjoyed the experience. He's still going pretty well in this one. He's one of 2 juniors in this one. The other one, Daniel Ferguson, you just see him coming through in lane number 3. 3:34.99 with 50 to go. Certainly Savic looks pretty comfortable. He'll certainly be in the junior final very strongly indeed. So we're probably in the sort of 4:07 range, 4:08 for a finish, maybe a little bit inside that. That's Savic who's put the spurt on. 4:05.54. 4:06.18 for Helms, and Kolomas 4:06.57. Oh, fantastic finish there over that far side by Alexander Savic.
Looked like he had a bit left in the tank there at the end. Have certainly progressed to the junior final. A Serbian, only one of the fastest juniors still this afternoon to come, of course. Big names coming up now in this 3rd heat of this 400 freestyle. Cameron Curl with that GB cap goes in lane number 1. Great Britain Olympian from Rio. Erik Gidshaug from Stavanger, Norwegian, goes in 2. Albert Iskreitz, he's featured in the top 2 places in the 800 and in the 1500 freestyles earlier this week. Spaniard goes in 3. Stephen Milne from Perth City, Scotland's multi-medalist at the major internationals, Olympic medalist of course in the relay team in Rio in 2016. Stephen Milne. Reg Lloyd from Team Ipswich, he goes in lane number 5. The second Spaniard, Ferran Julia, goes in lane number 6. He was just behind his teammate in both the 800 and the 1500 freestyle earlier this week. Ollie Mortensen, another one of the Danes, he represents Hovenstatens. He goes there in lane number 7, and Martin McInnes from City of Glasgow in lane number 8. Well, Cameron Curl, the Olympian, as I said, he's featured in and around the GB teams for the last couple of years. It's always a big tussle to try and get into that GB team for the 4x200 metres. Really, they know the team is extremely successful. It's very, very strong in depth, and it's really just a fight to see who can get into that relay quartet, or maybe they'll choose maybe 6 or 7 swimmers to go on the big team, the international team, and pick the fastest 4 when they actually get to the international. Stephen Milne has featured in that team in the past, as has Cameron Curl, and he's gone out very fast, Cameron Curl, there in that near side lane. He'll certainly be doing that 200 and possibly the 400 when they get to the GB trials in a month's time.
As you say, Paul, sometimes they might not actually make the team for an individual swim, but it's all about ensuring you're part of that 4x200 or 4x100, and trying to just keep performing at a very high level, and certainly Curl is doing that. 2:26 with 1:50 to go, and he's almost 2 seconds clear of Milne. Milne, as you can see, looks pretty relaxed in that middle lane.
And Stephen Milne, another one who's really emerged through the Scottish system, the likes of Duncan Scott, Ross Murdoch, Stephen Milne. They've done all the work here in Scotland, the Perth City swimmer, and he's kind of moved in the distances as he's gone on.
He has, and interesting, this last year or so he's been doing things like backstroke and butterfly, which is quite unusual for Stephen Milne, because he's very much a distance, or we've classified him more as a distance freestyler. 400 and upwards is certainly his trademark. Pretty effective at 2. But I think lease of life at this age, when you get to your mid-20s, it's good to do a mixture and just keep that spark going. And Milne coming through now, as you would expect in the latter stages, to challenge Cameron Curl. There's barely a second in it now. So interesting to see if Milne really kicks on to ensure a centre lane berth, or potential centre lane berth, but also finishing very strongly as the Spaniard Julia in 6. Well, it's a tight finish indeed, Curl, and Milne, next to nothing in it. 3:57.40, 3:57.56, and 3:57.82. And Julia just not giving himself enough water to try and finish in first place. So
yeah, I think Stephen Milne was determined to finish ahead of the 2 Spaniards there. I'm not sure he would have been aware of Cameron Curl. He was breathing over to his left-hand side, so may have just caught the splash of Cameron Curl, but maybe a little bit too far for Stephen Milne to see that Cameron was ahead of him in those closing stages. He was determined to get ahead of the Spaniards though, and you would think Stephen Milne and Cameron Curl would qualify comfortably for that final this evening. Yeah, well, certainly they'll be in. The 2 Spaniards as well in 3rd and 4th should be there, but with one more heat to come and more quality on show. As you said earlier, Robert, these swimmers will now know what they have to do, and that was quite a good heat, that first one, and we'll see who can respond to that challenge. Lineup for this one: Joan Pons, the European medalist in individual medley, goes in lane number 1 for Spain. Jacob Goodman from Millfield in 2. Kieran Bird from Bath University goes in 3. Daniel Jervis, well, sensational swim that he had in the 1500. Rose to the top of the world rankings this year with that 1500 swim for a meet record on day one of this event. Sam Budd from City of Sheffield in 5, Luke Turley and Will Riley in 6 and 7, both Bath University, and Alex Castillon, the second Spanish swimmer, the two Spanish bookends this time in 1 and 8, John Pons and Alex Castillon. But Daniel Jervis, what an excellent 1500 that he had on day one. He's had a rest yesterday and he's coming back fresh for this 400 freestyle. He made it easy for us in the commentary position. He was around about 1 minute for each of the hundreds.
It was virtually bang on a minute, just a shade over the, or almost bang on 15 minutes throughout. So it was quite easy for us in the commentary team the other day. And it'll certainly be the favourite, I fancy, for this one. Going out very strongly indeed. I've got an idea of the split at halfway. 155 was call at halfway, and it's just a little bit inside that. The other lads are about 2.5 seconds or so further back, so they'll need to kick on if they want to guarantee getting into that final. As we saw earlier on in some of the earlier heats, being in that last heat, you know what you've got to do to get there. And certainly in this early stage, Daniel Jervis looks as though he's treating it like a pretty serious event, the heat. He wants to ensure he's going to be in that lane 4 for this evening.
Yeah, he's gone out really fast, Daniel Jervis here. Really means business. And then can he be on for another sensational time here? Daniel Jervis really made his name as a 1500 freestyler. Kind of rose to prominence at the Commonwealth Games back in Glasgow in 2014, where he took a real surprise medal there for the Welsh team on the final night of competition. A real celebration for the Welsh, and he came back really strongly in the closing stages of that 1500. He was only just a real youngster, just 18 years of age at that time. He's only just in his early 20s now, so just coming of age in terms of distance swimming. But Jervis went to the Commonwealth Games again, 4th place in this event, took another medal of course in the 1500, so this is very much a second event for Daniel Jervis, but you know, he is doing a good job here, stretching away from the others. A real tussle for second position in this heat. Luke Turley possibly in that position at the moment in lane 6, but here comes Daniel Jervis, so keep an eye on the clock here. It's going to be very good time for the Swansea swimmer in 3:53.39 for him, so comfortably fastest into that final this evening. Luke Turley, the only other man under the 4 minute mark. Oh no, in fact Jacob Goodman just slipping under there in 3:59.91. So Daniel Jervis in first, Luke Turley in second, and Jacob Goodman in third spot, with Sam Budd just over the 4 minute mark in 4th position, giving himself a chance of that final. And I think the line has been drawn at 4 minutes, so that time Jacob Goodman 9 more hundredths under the 4 minute mark will scrape into that final in 8th place.
It did indeed, yeah. That was a little bit slower for the guys further back, since they knew what they had to achieve. Just got a feeling at halfway they'd dropped well off the pace. They maybe felt, right, okay, Daniel's well clear. We'll just swim our own race. Maybe didn't have enough in the tank down that final 50 just to pull enough out, but yeah.
And again, that should be a cracking final as well. Daniel Jervis looking very, very good this weekend. Stephen Milne will have a turn of pace, as will Cameron Curl, although Cameron Curl looked like he worked pretty hard there.
He did indeed. I kind of fancy that Milne was doing just enough to qualify. But Daniel Jervis was virtually pacing there, just again under a minute for those hundreds. So I expect big things, I think, from him this evening.
Well,
so
we said that there's no women's 1500 freestyle, so we are straight on to the men's 100 metres butterfly. No one is taking part in both the 400 freestyle and the 100 butterfly, so no one needs that extra little bit of rest, so we're straight on to the men's 100 metres butterfly. The women's 1500 freestyle, as we said, it's just one heat. We've moved to a straight final this evening. The fastest heat will go in this evening's session. 3 swimmers in this first heat of 5 in the 100 butterfly. Carl Barrett from Aberdeen Performance in lane 3, William Graham from Melton Mowbray in lane number 4 in the centre, and Aidan Brown from Borough of Stockton, 1 lane up in lane number 5. William Graham heading the 3 junior swimmers in this first heat. Again, 100 fly, we have an A final, a B final and a junior final to aim for, and 58.40 wins that first heat for William Graham, and very close for second, just a tenth of a second separating Carl Barrett and Aidan Brown as they finish just over the 1 minute mark. 1 minute point 1 and 1 minute point 2 for Barrett and Brown.
So a handful of juniors coming up in the next heat. 6 in heat 2, 1 in 3 and 2 in 5. So that time of 58.40, possibly not good enough, but we'll see how that one goes. Michael Komazeski from Hatfield in 1, Jeremy O'Connor Limerick in 2, Alec Watkinson Warrington Warriors goes in 3, Empty Lane in 4, Harry Lewis Mitchell Edinburgh University 5, Michael Gunning Stockport Metro in 6, Mark Ford in 7 from City Glasgow, and Wanderbath's Jamie McDonald in 8. Lane 6 with the advantage, Michael Gunning, 26.61. All these swimmers in the sort of 56-57 range, and getting a bit more interesting now, coming through very strongly in lane 4, Daniel Morley. Lane 3, Alec Wilkinson in 3, no lane 4, also there, Harry Lewis Mitchell in 5, and Michael in 6. I think Michael's just going to hold on and take that. 56.87. Second, 57.05. Harry Lewis Mitchell and Watkinson, 57.33. Takes third. So 57.33, the fastest junior time, with 3 juniors to follow.
We move on to the next heat. We are ripping through the heats this morning into the seeded heats. Heat
one
number
of the
3.
juniors in this one not going, Paul. Rasmus Nicholson in 6.
Yeah, 2 empty lanes in this one. We do have Ross Leslie, Edinburgh University in 1. Liam White, Swansea University in 2. Sam Horrocks in 4 from City of Manchester Aquatic. Duncan Scott back in the water again, University of Stirling in lane 5. Mark Elric, City of Glasgow in 7. And Edward Rednich from University of Stirling in lane number 8. Right on the outside there, but Duncan Scott, well, we've seen him do a number of events over this weekend. You said, Robert, won 6 medals at the Commonwealth Games, Scotland's most decorated athlete at a Commonwealth game, in a single Commonwealth Games ever, is Duncan Scott. He's really performed well in this build up to the World Championship trials in a month's time. Rednich going well in the outside lane, Scott in the middle with Sam Horrocks, and it looks like Rednich is going to take that one. 54.93, bit of a surprise from the outside lane there. Duncan Scott just getting the touch over Sam Horrocks there by 8/100ths of a second, so very close between the top 3. Rednich giving himself a good chance of making that final, and Scott will have, well, he'll have a better chance finishing second than he would have done finishing third, so Sam Horrocks very much on the cusp there.
Yeah, 55.08 in third place. Just see how the last 2 heats go. So all we in this one, Barry Gardner, University of Stirling 1, Jamie Ingram, City of Manchester 2, Joe Litchfield, City Sheffield 3, Eric Fries from Potsdamer in 4, Callum Jervis, Bath Uni in 5, Ben Carr, Neptune in 6, Callum Laurie, University of Stirling in 7. Freddie Clampett, Plymouth Leander in 8. Lane 3 perhaps, the early leader, Joe Litchfield, 25.55. And good turn from Litchfield, just beginning to pull away. And he's got a good body length clear, so Litchfield looks good for the final. The rest with some work to do. Coming through, threes from Potsdamer in 4 to try and challenge, as is Ben Carr in 6. So there, I think Carr's going to get second. Litchfield takes that. Just waiting for the time. The board again has disappeared, so it might be bad news for someone.
It was a good swim, Joe Litchfield, the winner of the individual medley the other day. He's had a good competition so far in the last couple of days, and that looked like a pretty decent 100 butterfly there for Litchfield in lane number 3. Ben Carr went well, Neptune swimmer up there in lane number 6. He also featured in the skins finals, lasted quite a long time, Ben Carr. I think he was 3rd in the end. He's 2nd in this one. We do have a disqualification, and that was Perry Gardner in lane number 1 was disqualified. Ben Carr in 2nd behind Litchfield. Litchfield the only one under the 55-second mark, so that's good news for Sam Horrocks and Duncan Scott.
Yeah, I think they're pretty safe. 55.41 second place, Ben Carr, so that probably is a target to get under for these guys. James Guy should have no problems getting into the final. Fastest 51.42. We're up in the Commonwealth Games, so certainly fancy Guy to be well there. So Tom Bailey, Plymouth Leander off to a good start in 1. Archie Goodburn, Wanderbass 2. Scott McClay, University of Stirling 3. Guy in 4, well clear at the moment. Matthew Domville, Warrington Warriors in 5. Jesper Bjork, Helsingborg in 6. Gillian Melly, Limerick in 7. Johan Rydell, Helsingborg in 8. 25.05, well, half a second faster than that previous heat. And this looks pretty comfortable here for Guy. Just having a wee look round to check where everybody is.
A wee look round, a big look round, I think, for James Guy. Goodness.
Scott McClay in 3. Scott McClay's got a lot to do to try and make this final. Guy just easing down, just having a wee glance over the other side to see where he is. Matthew Donville. Matthew Donville takes that. Well, again, the board's gone clear.
James Guy looking supreme there. The British record holder has made his name as a freestyler, but moved into butterfly in recent years, and he is a class act. James Guy, absolutely superb. But look round, massive look round on both sides for James Guy as he eased up there in the closing stages there. I think Donville just got the edge over him on the final stages. The Warrington swimmer, Matthew Donville. And we'll wait for confirmation of the result. Oh, goodness. Well, James Guy has been disqualified there. Well, not sure what that is going to be for, Robert. Well, the ref, what do you think?
Well, there can be a number of reasons for that. Obviously, he could have got a flyer right at the beginning. Possibly on the turn. What you've got to do is touch with both hands simultaneously, Paul. So if he's done a one-handed touch, or he's not touched both hands at the same time, if there's been a delay, that could be a reason. Or if he's come off the wall and not come on to his front, if he's come off the wall at more than 90 degrees, effectively on his back, that could be another reason. But
well, we're just speculating there, aren't we?
It's all speculation, but those are the main reasons. It's more at the turn that you see with butterfly, unusual, more on breaststroke, because both hands are coming through at possibly different angles. With the butterfly, they're more coming over together. Now, you don't see it very often, but that's probably the main reason. Another disqualification in that is Perry Gardner.
You don't think that looking about would have caused any of the issues with his stroke or anything to cause a disqualification?
No, as long as the arms are coming over simultaneously, that should have absolutely no effect.
And Is there any kind of comeback for James Guy and his team? Can he appeal the decision, or is that it closed now?
He would be advised to speak to his coach. His coach would then come down and have a discussion with the referee, and it's very much down to the coach if they want to put in a protest. But if it is something like a starting infringement which is quite clear, that's a matter of fact, and you can't dispute matter of facts. If it's not a matter, or if it's open to interpretation, then they may have a case. But there's no guarantee, even if they did that, that would happen. Of course, it would go to a jury of appeal, and there would have to be a final ruling. But yeah, these things happen. So on to our women's freestyle. Millie Fields 3, Cara Klein 4, Rebecca Reid 5, Harriet Rogers 6, and looks as though it's Cara Klein, Millie Fields in 4 and 3. They're going to be 1 and 2. Cara takes that. German 58.71. Entry time 58.79. So virtually bang on her entry time in that first one.
Yeah, consistent stuff from the German there in that first heat. This is the final event of the morning, Rob. It's flown by.
It has indeed.
So we see Katie Goodburn again, closest to us in lane number 1. Amy Wilmot having a busy morning in lane number 2. Gul Simono, City of Glasgow in 3 with that bright green costume. Marina Hella Hansen back in again from Hovenstadens, just missing final earlier this morning. 3 from Edinburgh Uni, going 5, 6 and 7. Tara Hayworth, Anita McCartney and Monique Olivier, the Luxembourg swimmer. Anna Fleming from City of Glasgow in lane number 8 with that blue cap. First to the wall there, Marina Hella Hansen. Saw her try to come from behind in the 200 backstroke. You can do that in the 200 backstroke, more difficult to do that in 100 freestyle. In lane 6 going well, Anita McCartney from Edinburgh University. And also going well down in lane number 2 is the experienced Amy Wilmot. Just more used to seeing Amy Wilmot over the longer distances. She's doing a good job over this 100 here. 4 swimmers all in together. And it is McCartney will take that one with Wilmot in 2nd position. And Monique Olivier 3rd. And Marina Hella Hansen in 4th spot. But, oh my goodness, only 9 more hundredths of a second separating the top 3. With Marina Hella Hansen 0.2 behind those 3. So good contest there, and a good turn of speed there from Amy Wilmot.
Certainly was. Of course, that not one of the 3 seeded heats. These are coming up now. Lisa Lombard in 1 from Helsingborg, Georgia Coates, Bath Uni in 2. Maria Beckman from Denmark in 3, Lyndon Mundos from Spain in 4. In 5, her teammate Melina Costa, Amy Grant, Loughborough University in 6, Maddie Crompton, Bath University in 7, Amy Godsave, Loughborough University in 8. And already a very strong start in the middle. Lyndon Moons, Spain going really, really well today in the pool. And she's still well there, coming through very strongly. As Costa in 4 to try and get into the in 5 to try and get into the mix, and almost 4 in the line here. It looks as though it's it's still with the advantage, but wait for this one just to be confirmed. 56.77. Does take that. Amy Grant 57.03. Costa only 4th. In fact, dead heat for 2nd place, 57.03. Neil Beckman.
Be interesting.
Well,
might be off
we
for
might have a swim off. Yeah,
that's what we like. We like
good.
swim off.
Excellent.
Lido Munoz, though, has been pretty decent form over the last couple of years. The Spanish swimmer setting Spanish records in recent years, continuing that good run of form, just getting in ahead of her more experienced teammate Melanie Costa. But Beckman and Grant also did decent swims there to finish equal 2nd. We'll keep an eye on this clock, Robert. We haven't had many swim offs. We had a couple yesterday morning. Could we be in for another one? The fourth heat, Emily Horn from City of Glasgow in 1, Marta Lovberg, Lambeseter in 2, Sophie Smith from Arbroath St Thomas in 3, Signe Bro from Denmark, Lucy Hope goes in 5 for Edinburgh University, Hannah Bergman Poseidon in 6, Molly Allen from Loughborough University in 7, Marina Garcia, Spanish swimmer, going in lane number 8. But Signe Bro, the Danish swimmer, now coming away at the front of the field. One of this crop of Danish freestylers on a medal at the European Championships, the relay team, and she herself was an individual finalist in this one. And she comes home comfortably ahead of the rest of the field, 55.09 ahead of Scotland's Lucy Hope, Scotland's Commonwealth Games swimmer Lucy Hope. And Emily Horn did a good swim in the outside lane, 57.24, just getting in ahead of Sophie Smith there from Arbroath St Thomas. But so where does that leave us in terms of the rankings, Robert? The Signe Bro and Lucy Hope and Lida Munoz, the top 3. So the two tying for 4th and 5th at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like we might well have a swim off perhaps for getting into that final or possibly a reserve.
Find out very shortly.
And I mean, Edinburgh University in 1, Sarah Bro, Farnham in 2, Emily Gantris, Denmark in 3, Frey Anderson, as you can imagine, will just relax in 4 from Ellesmere College Titans, Julie Janssen, Denmark in 5, Lena Krantz, SV Luntz in 6, Johanna Hildeberg, Hovenstatens in 7, Emma Russell, Heart of Midlothian, the only other junior in 7 and 8, over the far side. And expect Frey Anderson, you can see her just picking up. It looks effortless in lane 4, and she's one of our talented youngsters that are now getting into the British team and doing big things. And Frey Anderson making the job look very easy indeed, Paul. 55.21. Janssen 56.01 and 56.91. Emily Gantris.
A real class act there is Freya Anderson. She takes that one, 55.21. Well, Julie Jensen, the Dane, went out ahead there. The sprinters, kind of where the sprinters meet the more middle distance swimmers here. Oh, and look at that. We've just seen the scores scroll through, and we do have a tie for 8th place. Well, we called it, Robert.
We did indeed. 57.03. Screen,
interesting. But it was good. It was good from Frey Anderson, wasn't it?
Was
there, and as you said, she just came through. She relaxed on that first 50 and came through in the closing stages, as we expect from her at the moment. Freya Anderson on real great form, and she had a fantastic European Championships last year. She was the anchor swimmer in a number of the GB relay teams and just stepped up to the occasion and really delivered as we went through the European Championship. I think it was 4 relay medals she came back with in the end. So great performance from someone who's still very young. I mean, she's only just 18 years of age this year. I'm not sure if she's had her 18th birthday yet.
Yeah. Emerging talent. Well, she's emerged. You can say, Paul. And at 18, probably got at least another 6 or 7 years, possibly more ahead of her.
So we'll just wait for confirmation if we are going to see a swim off or not before we close off this morning. Looks like we're not going to have a swim off just this morning. We may have that swim off take place later on, maybe in the afternoon session before we progress to the finals. But it was a good morning of action, Robert. We saw some big names and some great swims this morning.
Even that wee shot, just coming back to the technical infractions. One other reason that James Guy could have been disqualified is if his legs were not in the same upward motion, if he was doing like a freestyle kick, something like that. but it's more likely to be at the turn where the hands are not coming over together. But, that's all speculation.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we're not going to see James Guy in the final as it stands. We'll just keep an eye on that situation, but unfortunately we're not going to see one of Britain and the world's top swimmers in that final. Well, we will be back for the next session at 12 o'clock today, so just an hour and a half here, local time in Edinburgh. So it's been a good morning's action. Please join us again in an hour and a half's time for session 2 of the final day of action here from the Royal Commonwealth Pool. Yeah. From myself, Paul Noble, and Robert Taylor, it's goodbye from now.
Goodbye.